Hello, this is Mengqi Zhao of the Pacific Northwest National Laboratory. In this video, I will introduce Xanthos and how to install and run it using Windows operating system as an example. Xanthos is a global hydrologic model designed to quantify and analyze global water availability on a monthly time step and at a spatial resolution of 0.5 degree. Xanthos is developed using Python and it includes modules for processing data, calculating potential evapotranspiration, runoff generation, river routing, and more. The default Xanthos output includes many hydrologic variables such as runoff, stream flow, actual and potential evapotranspiration, soil water storage, and hydropower generation. You can also output other variables generated during the hydrologic process by making few modifications within Xanthos. Currently, our team has ongoing work to include global reservoirs and lakes to fully capture freshwater storages in Xanthos. But in this tutorial, we will learn how to install and run Xanthos. Before getting to Xanthos, we need to install Python with a version of 3.6 or higher. I suggest download and install Anaconda 3 because it is easier to manage your Python environment and it comes with many different software options that support Python. You can also choose to directly download and install Python from python.org. For Xanthos installation, if you wish to modify Xanthos in the future, you can clone Xanthos to your local computer from GitHub, but this step is optional. Installing and running Xanthos might take some time, but the process is fairly simple. First, after cloning Xanthos to your preferred directory, we will install Xanthos to the Python library. Second, we will download example data that includes climate inputs and other necessary files to run Xanthos. Third, we will slightly modify a configuration file that comes with the example data. And finally, we're set to run Xanthos. So let's get started. To install Xanthos, there are several ways. So Xanthos version 2.4.1 is already released on PyPI, so you can directly use pip install Xanthos to install the released version. However, our team continues to develop Xanthos on GitHub, so if you want to get the latest version, you can try to install Xanthos from GitHub. And this is what we are going to demo today. So first, let's open a command prompt from Anaconda. So this way, your command prompt already have an activated Python environment. Then let's go back to our web page for Xanthos, which is github.com/jgcri/Xanthos. We click code and copy the URL from here. We go back to the command prompt. To install Xanthos, let's type in Python space -m space pip space install space git plus the URL you just copied. Let's hit enter. So now Xanthos started to install. This process might take about 1 minute. All right, after a little bit wait, now we see Xanthos is successfully installed on my computer. To run Xanthos, we also need some input data, such as climate data, including precipitation, temperature, and so on. So to get the data, we provide an example data folder that we can directly download by using Xanthos. So let's do this together. So first of all, let's get into Python first. Let's type in Python. So this will get into the Python console. Since you already installed Xanthos, you should be able to import Xanthos without any problem. And to get the package data, first we need to choose a location that you would like to download your data to. So in my case, this is the folder I would like to have my data. Let's copy this, and then let's give it to data directory, and I will just paste over here. So then we can use xanthos.get package data, and then you put your data directory in in here. So this will help you retrieve the data from Zenodo and download and unzip it. This process might take about 5 to 10 minutes. If after 10 minutes you still haven't downloaded your data, please check your internet connection. All right, we successfully downloaded the example data, and you can find them in the location you choose. Let's see what's inside the example folder. So there is an input folder, an output folder, and there is also this configuration file ended with .ini. Within the input folder, there are all these different types of inputs that are used by the different modules. For example, within the PET module, if we're using Mengqi to calculate the potential evapotranspiration, those are all the input data you need. If you want to use your own input data, for example, the climate data, you will have to convert them into this .numpy format. Within the output folder, there is an example outputs that includes all the CSV outputs from default Xanthos. So most of the outputs are in graded resolution of 0.5 degree. But some of the outputs, for example, runoff, are aggregated to different spatial scale, for example, basin scale, country scale, and GCIMS region scale. And the last thing we have to modify here is a configuration file. It is fairly simple. We just need to change some root directory to match our own folder path. To modify the configuration file, let's open it with Notepad. There are only 3 places we have to modify. The first one is the root directory. The second one is under ABCD module, the tab-min file directory, and the precipitation file directory. To modify this, we just need to replace example with the full path to the example folder on your local machine. So in my case, I will copy my path to the example folder and then replace this. Same thing with this example folder. You also want to change the / to /. Same thing with the first one. All right, let's save this, and then we can close it. Now everything is ready, we can run Xanthos. To run Xanthos, we go to command prompt, and if you haven't already, please import Xanthos, and we will make a config file variable and give your path to the configuration file to this variable. So I'm going to copy my path again and also copy the configuration file's name and paste it here. All right, and then to run Xanthos, we just need to type xanthos.run model and then give the config file to it. So now Xanthos is running. This process might take about 17 to 20 minutes. Now the run is complete. We see all this logging info in the command prompt. So if we go up, there are informations about what's the time coverage for this run, which is 30 years from 1971 to 2001 at monthly step. So it in total covers 372 months. If we keep going down, we can see different modules being called and the associated running time for this module. At the end of the logging info, you can see what are the output simulation results and their dimensions. So if you want to check out your output data, you can go to the output folder under the example folder. Since we didn't change the project name in our configuration file, so in this case, our new run outputs replaced the old outputs. So here you go. You get the new Xanthos run outputs. Now that you have successfully run Xanthos, you can check out more documentations from the GitHub page on advanced tips of using Xanthos. The 3 published papers here can also help you to get a better understanding on the structure and the methodologies for Xanthos. If you have more questions regarding Xanthos, please post them on the discussion page of Xanthos GitHub. Please also check out the GCIMS community page to explore more tutorials for GCAM and other models. Thank you for watching.